This is going to be very controversial, but stop eating steak. In fact, stop eating eggs. You know what? Just stop eating animal products in general. Over the past 2 to 3 years, I am the leanest I've ever been. I am building muscle in a way where I would never expect while being lean at the same time. My energy is through the roof, super high on a daily basis. And number four, my focus is insane. I don't get sluggish anymore. Well, not like I used to. If you never knew me previously, about 45, 60 days ago, I was eating steak, eggs, and chicken on a daily basis. Now, I'm a vegan. Crazy, right? This is going to be very controversial, but I've completely switched from eating steak, chicken, and eggs on a daily basis to a completely plant-based diet. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm a vegan because I eat honey. Honey is very good for you, but a complete plant-based diet. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, oh, how can you only give it 60, 45 days? That's how quick it takes to yield the benefits from a plant-based diet. And coming from a person who loves being an athlete, who loves building things, working online and talking to people on a daily basis, someone who loves interacting with people on a daily basis, coming from a person like that, to say that they feel their best, they have high energy, they have high focus, but also they are lean and building muscle at the same time, that's like five in one. How do you get that? It's almost impossible. When I used to ask my coaches, how can I build muscle, but I also want to stay focused for work? Like obviously when you bulk and stuff, you got to have a lot of carbs, a lot of fat, etc. Uh, Now it's like I can do both at the same time. Why must I prioritize the one when I can do both? And switching to a plant-based diet has allowed me to be lean, build muscle, but also stay focused and have high energy levels during work time. Like that is, if someone could ask me, hey Steph, what are the most three things you would want in life? It would be those three things because that is literally all you need to live a fulfilled life or live a life to fulfill or to accomplish things that you want to accomplish. You physically fit, you look the best that you ever look, and you feel the best. When it's work, when it's with people, when it's by yourself, you're operating at the highest possible level you can operate at. Now, again, like I said, this is going to sound so controversial. How can you just switch to a plant-based diet and now you say it's the best thing ever? Well, those are not just the two or three things that I have seen have improved in my life. Number one, my skin is the best it's ever looked. I have rosacea. Rosacea is basically where your skin flushes into redness. My skin, yes, it does flush, but not as bad as it used to. My skin now glows. It looks better. Also, my face has trimmed down. Before I had a chubby face, I put a picture on the screen. Now, it's much leaner, right? And when it comes to switching to a plant-based diet, initially, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit because I did it wrong. I went cold turkey into it, and I started eating beans, rice, vegetables, and nuts and grains, just cold turkey. Now, my stomach didn't like that because the fiber intake on a plant-based diet is quite insane. I went from eating maybe 10 to 15 grams of fiber a day to 40 to 60 grams of fiber a day. Like that's how drastic the change was, and your stomach doesn't like that drastic change. So, what I recommend when you do switch to a plant-based diet, or if you do want to, try ease into it. Don't go full on eating beans and rice and vegetables on a daily basis. Try ease into it. Okay, when I say ease into it, I mean maybe for one meal have beans, not all your meals, or maybe for one meal have vegetables, not all your meals. And then you can slowly go into it. Switching cold turkey is not the greatest option. Now, a big myth when it comes to a vegan diet is, or there's two actually. Number one, how do you get your protein intake in? And number two, not all vegan foods contain all the amino acids, your nine essential amino acids that build up or that contain in a protein. Number one, it's very easy to get your protein in. Before I thought it was hard. Now it's actually quite easy. You have things like tofu, tempeh, seitan, beans are an exception, and just vegetables in general have protein. So getting your protein is much easier. And in fact, you don't need as much protein as people said you would need. People say you need 200 grams of protein per day. They're lying to you. They're lying. A gram per pound It's pretty straightforward. If you weigh 140 pounds, just have 140 grams of protein. It's pretty simple. And then number two, the non-essential amino acids. So people are lying to you when they say you're not going to get all your essential amino acids. They are talking bullshit because basic things. You know what? I've actually got it on my screen right now. Quinoa, tofu, tempeh, edamame beans, hemp seeds, chia seeds, rice, beans combined, peanut butter and toast with whole grain bread, etc. All these things have your non-essential amino acids. Acids. So don't come telling me that you're not going to get all your amino acids because you do. You do. And if we look at the strongest man in the world, what does he eat? He's a vegan. He eats beans, rice, and things like that on a daily basis. Now, if you're coming to me and you say, "Hey, Steph, should I start a plant-based diet?" I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. I really wouldn't. It depends on your situation. In my case, I have high cholesterol. I have rosacea. I I guess have a lot of injuries with my knee, my back, my neck. If you contain anything got to do with maybe a blood disorder, autoimmune disease, high cholesterol, blood pressure, uh, your joints and stuff just don't feel good, you have injuries, I would say yes, switch to a plant-based diet. But if you're just a regular, I don't know, teenager or regular 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old, 6-year-old, whoever's watching this, and you have none of those problems mentioned, just stick to what you're doing. Just stick to it. I wouldn't like I genuinely wouldn't recommend it. But for people who physically do cannot control their high cholesterol, like cannot actually make a change to it, I recommend going to a vegan diet. Example, if you have autoimmune disease as well, I recommend going to a vegan diet. But also, if you're an athlete, if you're an athlete that wants to build endurance and strength at the same time, have a look at one of the best athletes in the world, Lewis Hamilton. What does he eat on a daily basis? That one cyclist, I forgot her name, but one of the best cyclists, Olympian cyclists in the world. She's a vegan. Strongest man in the world is a vegan. There are so many, there are so many studies and evidence that just backs up why a plant-based diet is so good. But like I said, I'm not here to force you to go on a plant-based diet. That is not what I want to do. Uh, what I do want to do is just kind of advise you on which path to take depending on your circumstances. So, like I said, cholesterol, you know what to do. Autoimmune disease, you know what to do. You want to have these set goals, which is build endurance, build strength, have high focus, have high energy, go a vegan diet. Also, if you want to save money, go to a vegan diet. The last thing I want to touch on is if you're an entrepreneur like me, or you're in sales, or you're a high income earner where your job requires a lot of your time and mental energy and stress, I could not recommend a vegan diet enough. That's because you are going to feel so good if you just stick to a vegan diet for 30 days. Oh my, I cannot explain to you the energy levels that you're going to have. You're going to feel so good mentally, physically. Just speaking to people feels easier. Your passion for things just comes alive. Your overall zest for life just increases. Like you just feel better. You're not eating these big, high calorie, high fat meals with eggs, steak, and dairy, and cheese, and milk, and all these things that are just inflammation to the body and draining you and killing you. The same, if we look at the people that have lived the longest in this world, what do they eat? Grains, vegetables, beans, nuts, things like that. Okay. There are so many documentaries to back it up. There's so many studies to back it up. And if you want to change to a plant-based diet, what's stopping you?